So I've actually never really liked the term coaching, which is kind of ironic, but there's a reason for it. So when you're thinking about athletics or sports, very obvious what a coach does, right? You go to a coach, you know what they're going to do, you know what it's going to look like, you're clear on the definition. But when you port that same word, coaching, into other arenas like business or career or life, there are life coaches. The term stops being as clear and you stop being as certain exactly what it is you're getting into. And so if you meet 10 different people doing career coaching, you'll get 10 different answers about how they're going to get you where they're going to go or where you want to go. And that's fine. You might get that with track coaches also. But you also will get some consistency about what the end goal is. And so it's important to be really clear about what the end goal is and what you want out of the person you're working with. So I thought it might be useful to run through what I think is the most useful definition of coaching for not only people who are looking for coaches, but for people who are coaches themselves or who want to be coaches. So I've actually heard lots of good advice from people online about what constitutes a good coach. I was listening to a video just the other day. I'll try to find it and put it in the comments, where the person was saying, you want to find someone who has advanced along the path that you want to advance along further than you have, right? It's a no-brainer. It makes sense. He also said that you want to find someone who's struggled with what you've struggled with, right? Or with what you're struggling with. And that also makes sense, right? You don't want someone who just advanced. You want someone who found hard what you now find hard, right? And got past it. And then the last part relates to that, which is someone who finds what you find hard easy, right? They've gotten so far past it that it's easy for them. And I thought that was a really good definition, but I thought it was a bit incomplete because there's still a piece missing that makes us run up against this wall. And it's the wall I think of as the teacher professional wall, let's say, or you can say your coach athlete wall. So we all know people who are very, very good at their sport, very, very good at what they do, but they cannot teach anyone how to do it. They just know how to do it themselves and they're amazing at it. But the skill of teaching is not the same skill as the skill of doing. And so you find people who are very good at teaching, but not very, or well, let's say they might be very good at the sport, but they're also very good at teaching, which is rare. It's more normal to find someone who's very good at doing what they do, but can't teach. And so I think you'll often find that a lot of people who are in the coaching space or in any space really fall into that category. I mean, if you had a manager or someone who's training you at work who was really good at what they did, but they couldn't tell you how to do it, then you understand what I'm talking about. So I think that the thing that you have to add to make that definition that I was saying before useful is structure, right? So I think you should be looking for structure when you look for a coach. Or if you are a coach, you should have a structure that will help people move towards the goals they want to move towards. So if there's a structure, it's less arbitrary. It's not just based on your personality or your charisma, which is how a lot of people make decisions about coaches, when it's the wrong way to make those decisions. It'll be based on something concrete, something tangible, something that says, here's the process by which we get you from here to there, right? Not that there's anything wrong with personality or charisma. It's really actually great to have someone who's in your corner who you like. So those are important too, but it's important to base the decision about who you work with on more than that, right? So that's just a discussion of this other definition that I heard that I kind of liked. But I think there's another dichotomy that's useful to explore for us here when you're thinking about coaching. And this is the two sides of coaching that you find in athletics, right? And so I think that you should port that definition to the world of career or business or life. And the two sides of the coin on that are encouragement on the one hand, right? Which is to say you need someone who's going to motivate you, right? Who's going to encourage you, who's going to say, good job, right? And cheer you on when you win, who's going to be in your corner. It's invaluable to have that. And people get so little encouragement, especially in their jobs, that it's almost, heartbreaking. And so it's a necessity to have someone there who's got your back, right? Who's there for you. It really helps push you forward. Which brings me to the other side, which is the pushing, right? So there has to be some sense of pushing when you have a coach who's effective. So I think that too often people err on the side of promoting themselves from the standpoint of motivation. And that's useful, and I'm not against it. But I think that, and that's, for obvious reasons, it's because people want to be liked and they want to have people buy from them. And when you market to people, it's useful to say, I'm a friendly person, I will encourage you. People like that. But I think the other side is equally important. That is the side that says, I'm here to push you past the barriers that you are facing. And if are looking for a coach, you obviously are facing some barriers. So you need someone who's going to help push you past them and say, now's the time when we have to step outside of our comfort zone and do something a little scary. And that's going to happen, right? Inevitably in any job search, in any business venture, in any experience you have, there's going to be some difficulty. And when that happens, you need the push side to come into play, right? Someone who's willing to say to you, you can do more than this. You can do better. You are stronger. And that side is very big, um, and important for a coach to have equally, along with the side of the encouragement. So those two things together make the perfect puzzle, I think, for a coach. And apart, they actually don't work. If you have someone who only encourages you and tells you good job, you're never going to push yourself. You're never going to get anywhere. If you have someone who only pushes you and tells you, you're not doing good enough, step outside your comfort zone and stay there forever, that person's an asshole, and you're not going to want to work with them either. So make sure that any coach you work with is going to push you, but also encourage you at the same time. I think that's the best definition, large scale definition of what a coach should be doing for you. So you'll be pushed, but they'll also support you through that process. And that's the way that you're going to get to the wins that are right around the corner if you find the right person to work with.